Welcome to the GoOutLiving Attitude, a cancer survivor's journey through health and wellness, helping others search for the tools to bring us a healthier and happier lifestyle. Hi everyone, Jonathan Brandt, GoOutLiving Shorts, Part 9. So today I was on my walk and I was thinking about acknowledgement, and I've been talking a lot about that, taking responsibility for ourselves with what we eat, with our health, whether it's nutrition, fitness, all of it. And lately I've been thinking about everything from the food industry to health industry, pharmaceuticals. And is there somebody to blame? Or do we just have to take accountability for anything and everything? I remember, it's been years now, but I used to laugh at some states that would try and ban certain, let's say, soft drinks or make it more difficult to get cigarettes. I always thought, well, okay, freedom. That's what America is supposed to be. It's about freedom. So we should have the choice to drink however big a soda we want or smoke as much as we want. And then I started thinking about recently, isn't it technically the government's job to protect us? So there's the conundrum. Is somebody at fault? Are we all at fault? Do we all take blame for everything? When it comes to our health and nutrition is what I'm really talking about. And that's a hard question, isn't it? It's a hard answer to come up with because I think it's a little of everything in my opinion, but let's really think about it. So if we talk about freedom, where does that start? Does it start with voting for your representative? Or does it just start when you go to the grocery store and pick up the food? Where does the responsibility start? So in my mind, here's how I'm starting to think about it. Again, government to me is supposed to protect us. So if we look at it from that standpoint and we put representatives in there and they're not technically protecting us, they're allowing additives, preservatives, chemicals, whether it's being sprayed on our vegetables, our fruits, fertilizers, pesticides. If all those are being allowed, is the government really protecting us? If we know they're harmful, forever, chemicals, plastics are starting to come out that they're extremely harmful for us. So, again, who's to blame for all that? And I'm not sitting here, I don't want to try and get into the politics. Again, it's just so decisive. And I don't want to do that because here's the thing. When it comes to my health, your health, our kids' health, politics should not be a part of that. Whether you're one side or the other, they should all want the same thing. And that's just a healthier us. But I don't feel like we're getting that. And again, who's to blame for that? If we know, and here's what I don't understand. Something comes up as far as we talked about red dye. And okay, it's been banned. But look at how controversial it was. Why? I don't understand. Why is doing a healthy thing controversial? And then I was thinking, okay, protocols in hospital setting, for instance. We want to blame Western medicine for a lot of issues right now. The health industry, which is $1 trillion industry, by the way. So that's a whole, is that a story too? That, okay, why is our health industry making so much money? And then we go again to the protocol aspect. What if your doctor is being told, okay, we have a drug out there for you? The pharmaceuticals come to them and say, yeah, we got a drug. We need to set a number for a blood test. And anything that is above that or below it, you got to have this pharmaceutical, this drug for that. Is that happening? A lot of people say yes. And the problem is that number real? Is it an actual problem? And again, now it goes back to the government. It goes back to the protocols, the health industry, the pharmaceuticals. Who's controlling what? And are we getting the correct answers? Are we just making things worse on ourselves? And I know this is a huge issue. This spans so many different aspects of health and nutrition of every different industry, the food industry, the healthcare industry. How do we know who to hold responsible? And is it just on us? Do we just say, okay, you can put whatever you want into it and we'll decide if we're going to eat it or not, or drink it, or, however we want to consume it? Is that on us ultimately? Yes and no, right? I mean, we've all gone down the road of we just been eating whatever for a long time. And the outcome's not looking real great because of it. So then we go back to, okay, if the government's ultimately supposed to protect its citizens, why are they not banning it? And you can go to different countries and they are banning certain pesticides, dyes, additives, preservatives. So again, why is our government not doing it? And when they do it, why is it so controversial? I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. I know for myself what I want. I don't want to have to make a decision between crappy food and good food just because it's there. If we already know it's not good for us, just take it out. That's how I look at it. I don't understand why it's so controversial. Yeah, I understand the freedom thing. I really do because I was right there with you. But then I got sick. My wife passed away. There's so many people I know, whether it's in my family or friends or just people I've worked with that have been sick or knew somebody that's been sick. We've all dealt with it in some way. So again, where does it start? Do we start by just putting better people in there to represent us and to say, hey, enough is enough? We know this stuff isn't bad for us, so we're going to change that. We're not going to allow the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the big powers to control what's being put out there for the people because we know it's bad. Is that fair? I mean, to me, it is. But again, that's just my opinion. Again, I understand the freedom part of it. We have to make that choice, right? But I would rather make it from the beginning than to tempt in the end. And then I go back to the protocol thing with the hospitals. That really bugs me the more I think about it. And, again, think of a little book and you're writing out your information and you say you have this problem. This doesn't feel good. I have a headache. I have gut issues. I have whatever. And their little book says you can only have this. This one drug is all we're going to allow you to have. And if your doctor doesn't go by that, if they don't tell you that's all you can have, then they can be sued. That's not really fair, is it? Is that really what we want? Don't we want the options? Don't we want all the different tools that are out there? So if the pharmaceuticals are out there controlling things, business people that are running these hospitals are out there controlling things, if our politicians are being influenced by the powers to be, is that good for us? Are we getting what we deserve? Is the health industry actually helping us? Or is there alternatives? Guess what? There are alternatives. And that's what we're bringing you, from the Go Out Living podcast. I am bringing every person on that I can to explain that other side of it. That side that insurance doesn't always cover because it's cheaper, it's less expensive, it's natural as far as remedies. Does that sound right to you? To me, it doesn't. There's a big issue whether we just want to talk about the US or not. I think we have a bigger issue here than a lot of places, but how are we going to change it is the next thing. To me, I'm doing the podcast. I'm learning. I'm still trying to figure out me, whether it's because of all the treatments I've gone through or what I ate, what I drank for almost 50 years. Yeah, I take blame for a lot of my own problems. That's my accountability. But I think it's fair to question others too, especially if they knew about it. Will we ever find the truth? I don't know. I really don't. Well, I'm sorry, I don't usually put truth and government in the same in the same boat all the time, which sucks too, honestly. That it's not right. That's just our system, right? I personally think though there are issues, and I think we can help change that by, again, for me it's bringing on these amazing guests. It's also going to be asking the right questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. I mean, that's what freedom is about, is asking the question. I want to answer. I want to bring the politicians on. I want to bring whoever runs politics in, or policy. Let's talk about policy at whether it's a hospital or putting out the protocols. Are we, what are the tests actually testing for? There's so many questions we can ask ourselves and ask others. What's being manipulated? Either way, is it any of it helping us? Or is it just a money thing? Is it a power thing? I think those are fair questions. I don't have all the answers. I hope I bring it to you. I hope by having these amazing guests that they can answer some of those for you. But at least ask yourself, who's responsible? Ultimately, who is responsible for putting chemicals on our food? Who's responsible for even allowing it to be in our stores? Who's responsible for eating it, consuming it? I think we all take blame for about everything, but how can we change it? How can we stop tempting ourselves with things we know aren't good for us? Is it ultimately up to us as an individual, or should the government step in? Again, those are questions that you need to figure out. I think if we're all more on the same page and we just don't want them in there in our stores for our kids to have, because that's what I'm ultimately looking at. I want a safer place for my kids. I want a healthier options for my kids, whether it's nutrition or even the cups they're drinking out of. I want healthier. If they know there's a problem, take it out. That's what I want, because I want my kids to live longer than me. And I brought up, there's studies coming out that people aren't outliving their parents anymore. I'm probably good proof of that. My wife passed in January. She didn't outlive her mom. It's reality. It's not a fun reality in any way. I hope we can change it. I hope we can get on a better path. And I believe we are. I think there's a lot of great people out there really trying to change things. And it's probably not mainstream. It's on podcasts, because a lot of them are trying to, they're trying to silence them. Again, money, power. You know how it works. So please, I ask you, just pay attention. Ask yourself, what do you want? And if you ultimately want to change, then come on podcasts like this, subscribe, become members. Let's get the community going, because that's who influences the health industry, the food industry. We need enough of us to do that. We can't do it one at a time. We all have to come together and say enough is enough. We all have to come together and pick the politicians that are going to fight for us. I don't care what side they're on. It has nothing to do with a D or a R or I or whatever. I don't care. As long as you're out there for us, that's what matters to me. If you're out there for my kids, that's what matters to me. I guess this is a little bit of a rant, but it's frustrating to me. And the more I hear and learn about what these different industries are doing or have done, and nobody's really taking responsibility for it, it's frustrating. Yes, you have to take responsibility for your part, but I think everybody needs to take responsibility for everything. All right, that's all I got today. I just hope, again, look in the mirror. Yeah, take responsibility for yourself, but let's ultimately make some changes for our kids, for us, because we need it. Also, again, GoOutLiving.com, all the different platforms, YouTube, Spotify. My big one now is school, SKOOL.com/GoOutLiving, all one word. Please come become a member. Because the more we get, and it's free, by the way, there is a paid tier, but it's free right now for the basic member, and we all want each other to talk about it. Listen to the videos, listen to the guests, and come talk about it. And let's start influencing a change, a better system, whether it's the healthcare system or the food industry. Let's change it. Let's not be afraid to say this is wrong. But I need you guys to go out there and become members, subscribe, not just to my stuff, to all those out there that are trying to make a difference. Because there's a lot of us. All right. GoOutLiving.com, www.school.com/GoOutLiving. Those are different places you can go. Become members, subscribe. Let's change things, folks. All right. That's what I got. Really appreciate it. And again, find that attitude, live that attitude, be that attitude. All of it. Go out living. Bye, everyone. Till next time.